Right then guys, got a little surprise for you. We've got in here, got some stickers which I found. I'll get them out if Jack holds that. For the engine bay. So I'll quickly, we'll have a quick look, because obviously we've got original stickers on stuff, so let's have a little look, see what they're like. I mean, that is the original one on top of the intercooler, and that's obviously, I mean, it's pretty bang on, to be fair. Obviously that's got to, I've got to peel that off so it'd be a bit smaller, but no, I'm happy with that. But I think there were like 14 quid, so if anyone's interested or want to know where I got them from, I'll put a link in the description, and obviously, yeah, but you got all that. I think there you go, that goes around the one of the reservoirs, I think, on the top, and there's just little caution bits, and that goes on top of the radiator and whatnot. So yeah, and then the other thing we've got is in here. So I get Jack sold that little treat, you know, for the car cartel headquarters. And I thought, you know, if we struggle to figure out how to put this thing back together, you're gonna have to give me an hand with this. Well, there you go. The only problem is, and you Ford nuts have probably already clocked it, but it's for a four-wheel drive one, because I don't know if you can tell there, Jack, by the front wheel, there's a front diff. So yeah, I couldn't get a two-wheel drive, so, but no, it's pretty cool, isn't it? I think the idea is, I've got an idea in my head, but everyone will probably go, no, don't put it there. It's there, but you know, up there, no point me doing it because I'm too short, but that's what I was thinking, something like that.
Bit low, ain't it, mate?
Well, you know.
Get you a step ladder.
Have to go on your shoulders. It's right, isn't it?
Like it, mate.
Like it. Right, I don't know how I'm going to get it up there though. And that's asbestos, mate, so I can't be drilling that. I have to get some rope or something and cable ties in it. Right then, people, it's me and Jack at the minute. Dave and Jake are supposed to be coming down, but until they come down, we're going to get cracking. We're going to get this front bumper off to see what we've got behind this. Jack's taking the inner arch out there, and I'm taking this front bumper off. It looks a bit, I don't think that's an original Ford way of putting the front bumper on, but yeah, so we're going to get on with this now, get the rear bumper off, and a few other little bits, so we're going to see what damage we've got behind the bumpers, if we've got anything or not. So yeah, I'm going to crack on with that. Right, so we're going to have a little stab around on this. Obviously we know it's gone, but as you can see, it's gone. All on that there. I mean this, we're going to replace this section here. Going to cut all this out, obviously get back to the good metal, and obviously re-weld this in. You can replace the whole of this, but the work involved in that, it doesn't need doing, because all this is good up here. So we'll get a replacement section, cut out the rot, and obviously re-weld a new piece in. So, and on the other side, it's same story, and it got. So, I had a little stab here earlier. And obviously the bit in the hole here. But that's where your rear axle bolts in with the bush. So, yeah, it's good on that bit, but it's a common bit on Sierras. If you're looking at a Sierra or whatnot, check these areas. Like I say, it was in one piece when we first got it, that you have a good stab round and there's a hole there. So, I mean, people, you can patch them up. You could just clean that metal up and weld over it. You can do that, but obviously we're not going to do that because that ain't the proper job to do. So, yeah, it'll probably end up being. No, it won't. It'll be just that bit there. But the rest of it looks alright. Oh mate.
You having some trouble in there, are you?
You know when you don't go to plan.
Tell me your thoughts, you're going red.
Hey, who's going red?
You. Tell me your thoughts, though.
I think I'm going to break this in a minute, that's what I'm going to... So, oh, right, okay. No, we're good. Yeah, I'll pull the throttle cable out, Dave. It's that, on that side, that's it, yeah. Yeah. Right then, guys and girls.
Start every sentence like
Yeah.
that. Right then.
Hey guys. Hey guys. What do you want me to say? Right, people, how you doing? Yeah.
Are you YouTubers?
No, because it could be on
they're not
Facebook.
YouTubers.
We're
What?
YouTubers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you go on YouTube,
How he
you're
just
a
goes,
YouTuber.
yeah, what? Yeah, and that's his thing to like get out of it.
Yeah.
Okay, me, Jack and Dave. Jake's turned up late, so he's tinkering away on the engine, and we've been hard at work getting everything out of this engine bay. I mean, it only looked like a couple of things, but in the end it turned out to be quite a bit. So yeah, brake master cylinder and everything's off, but you have to unbolt it from inside the car, so we had to take some of the dash apart. Got most of the bits and bobs that are all connected to obviously the inside of the chassis, on the chassis legs, and bits and bobs there, like power steering, header tank, just loads of little things. Headlights are all out, obviously. So yeah, it's more or less that. There is still some little things. We've got some screws and bolts bolted in still, but yeah, I think we need to now just clean. We're going to give it a good clean off, get all the rubbish out. It's all obviously what's just sat there over the years. Give it a good clean, degrease everything. We're going to be cleaning all, get all this crud. Get the crud off it, and yeah, and see what are you doing here?
I don't know.
You best put that in the box.
I'm gonna write. I'm don't you worry.
Yeah, but you'll take that out. You won't take the other one out, though, will you?
I am chief box keeper.
You gotta get this out of all now.
Oh.
How have you made work for me now? Whoa, that's a bonnet cap, man. Can't have a broken bonnet cap.
Have you finished what you were saying instead?
Yeah, basically we're gonna carry on taking stuff out by the looks of it.
Change something. I hate it.
Hit your bottom lip or what's up?
Look what he's done. He's been on it. I mean, I've hit this with hammers
What
and
did
all.
you say to me?
I said the unbreakable.
What did you say to me? You ain't broke it yet, have you?
Yeah, right.
No,
Then
not
you
yet.
turned around and I broke it.
Right, Jake's one of these who follows the crowd, buys himself strap-on gear. Right,
What's
from the
this down
strap-on.
here?
Yeah, the strap-on gun. What I got? How
That's
much
the
are they?
shit.
How much are they? How much are they?
Not worth a wank.
Stop swearing on
That
YouTube.
wasn't a swear
You
word.
needed the whoop gun.
No, how much was this new? From strap-on.
400 quid or
Yeah,
something.
paid 50 quid for it, right, off someone who's in desperate need of some money, so they sold it me for 50 quid. And it's a bit like Triggers. Will you stop laughing? What are you doing on here? I'm modelling the new hoodie. Dave's already ripped it. Right, it's had a new body, didn't it? You got me a new body for this, didn't you?
Is it the same gun that he
No.
brought?
No.
Is it the original gun?
Look,
Just had a new body, a new
look,
motor,
right.
a new tip, a new battery. Same gun though.
So, right, and then the charger broke. So the only thing what's original is the batteries. So
That's why the battery's red.
basically what I'm trying to get at,
Don't
Yeah.
buy strap on.
don't buy strap on.
Unless it's a Friday night with your
And
missus.
this Becco or Becco, whatever you call it, man, it's good, I'm telling you it's good, but he's broke it, look at it.
Alright then, how did I break it?
Because you would see this, he was trying to undo that, and then he got the hammer. he was
Because
hitting
you've
it.
got no decent tools.
Nothing
you-
wrong with
I'm
my
trying to
motor,
undo
look,
this.
look at this now.
I'm trying to undo this big
Look
alley
at this
kit.
now. I haven't got no decent tools,
To
what's
be
the point,
honest,
Vixen?
to be honest, not even I broke one of his tools.
No.
yet.
I'll break everything.
Ratchets under basically under a wheel nut.
Say that again.
This will undo wheel nuts. I've undone head bolts with this.
You've hit it with an hammer.
No, you've got a hacksaw and cut down there to sabotage
Have you hit that with an hammer?
Of course I have.
That's what I've done, and it snapped.
No, because you was hitting it at the wrong angle.
Why didn't you shoot
The bigger one.
See?
Because he didn't. He wanted to break my tool.
He
What
did.
he
That's
You know
selfish,
why?
that is, you know.
Look, I haven't
Just
got the
because
tool.
you didn't want to
then-
start with us and you've come down to get your own back a little bit. That's harsh, that is, you know.
he needs to get.
You're not very nice.
Look at him trying to snap bolts on that turbo. What's original? So I've got to buy some Mickey Mouse bolts from somewhere.
I can't even come down now with muckers out on a Sunday, can I, without getting abused?
Mucker.
I don't even know what I come down.
Don't ask me what that means.
Man, I could look a dick, man, for being like that. Right, guys, I'm going to finish off stripping this engine down. Obviously, Jake started it, but he's been caught up with stuff because he can't be arsed, basically. But nah, I need to get some stuff done. Because obviously, you need to get stuff to vapor blast and get stuff painted and turbos reconned and stuff like that. So, I need to crack on with it. So, I have been doing a little bit after work. Only little boring things like I've got the turbo down here, just got oil feed pipes, return pipes, water feed pipes and stuff, just stripped off. So this now, I mean, it weren't smoking or anything, there's no real play in the turbo, but obviously I want it all recon, so it's all brand new, it'll look brand new, all the seals and all the bearings are all done, all the wastegate checked and stuff on it, so we're going to get no problems when we put all that back on together. So that's ready to go off to be reconditioned. I think we're going to send it off to Midlands Turbos. Jake's going to get that, well, said he's going to get that sorted for us, so I'll have to drop that down to his garage to get that sorted. So I'll put this by the door so I don't forget it on the way out. But yeah, so I've got the sump off. Got to do a repair on that because obviously someone threaded the sump plug on it, so that's why it had a real bad oil leak. I think it was leaking on the rear main seal on the back because it was getting onto the clutch a bit, so obviously we're going to get that sorted. But everything's more or less off it now. Inlet's off it, exhaust is all off it, all the bits and bobs that go on oil pressure switch and feed to turbo, oil filter and oil filter sandwich plate, obviously the dizzy. So what I'm going to do now, so I'm going to get the cam belt off it. I did fit a cam belt on it when we first got it, which was like 2 years ago now, but obviously I'm going to get all these pulleys all painted up into whatever it is, whatever they were, like original. So, and obviously I'm going to get the legendary Cosworth rocker cover off because we want to get this obviously repainted, and obviously we're going to try and get this sorted if we can. If not, no big deal. I think we won't go with this blue anodine. We'll go with a nice black or red or whatever, something to blend in a bit. Yeah, so we'll see if we can get that sorted. But obviously to get these front pulleys off and this front pulley off and that, we need to set the cam bout off. So I'm just going to quickly run through with you what I normally do when I take a cam bout off. If it hasn't snapped obviously and you're changing it or whatever, I always time them up. So when you come to chuck a cam bout back on, it's already timed up, if you know what I mean. So like I said, when I take a cam bout off, if it hasn't snapped obviously, I time it up, the engine, back into time, so when you put the new bout back on, the engine ain't too far off in time, because obviously if you have it out of time and you've got your cam bout off, and you turn your bottom end over to get it into time, the top's not doing anything, there's a valve open, you hit the valve and then you've got to move the cam. It just makes it hard for yourself. So when you take your cam bout off, to put your cam bout back on, put it back into time. Yeah, these may move a little bit, but it ain't going to move far to get it back in. So obviously go on Google or whatever, or get your owner's manual, see where your timing marks are. This should, well it did run, so it was in time. Obviously we've got a timing mark here, then you've got your two cams which will point inwards, and then you've got a timing mark on this here. So that's all in time, so I can nip that off now, knock the tensioner back. As long as no one moves anything, or when we undo this it don't move, it should all stay more or less where it's got to be, and then when we come to put the bout back on and all back together, it ain't got to move far and you won't cause any damage. You'd have to really wrench on it, but you know, you don't want to be causing yourself more issues. So I think now, Jack, we're going to gun that off so it don't move. If I had a gun. To get these off, or any bottom pulley, obviously it's easy with a gun. To try and like obviously wrench it off with a breaker bar, you end up turning the engine over. I'll probably do this now and it won't work, but let's have a look. Like I said, won't work. I had it off before though.
It was attached to the car before though, wasn't it?
Yeah. If I had a better gun, I'd take it off. Right, the gun weren't powerful enough. There is stronger guns out there, like Jake's got one, but I wouldn't recommend doing that in the car, and definitely wouldn't recommend if you're going to put this cam bout back on, because obviously you're heating that, all the back of the cam bout's getting all burnt and whatnot, so generally wouldn't recommend yeah, doing that. But if you change your cam bout, it's alright, crack on. Just make sure there's no petrol all over your engine. These strap-ons, I mean, pay 50 quid off some kid. Does the job. But them DeWalt guns and them Milwaukee's, good, but I can't afford them. Obviously, you need to get this pulley off to get the cam bout off, because obviously there's a plate there and yeah, there's a plate there, there's a keyway as well, so watch it when you're messing about. There's that little keyway, and if you drop that or lose it or don't put it back in, yeah, it could slip that pulley. I don't think it slipped the timing, it just slips this pulley, but I might be wrong. There's me losing the keyway now. Obviously that stops the bout sliding into the pulley. So now I can loosen that off, loosens all the cam bout, take the cam bout off. Obviously everything's in time. So when we come to put it back together, so obviously that's now slackened off, because obviously that's got an off-centered drill hole in the tensioner, so when you swing it up there like that, tensions it. Obviously when I put the cam back on, I'll run through how to put it back on. Fingers crossed it's the correct way. Worked the first time, so I think it might be easy to slide it off these pulleys. Right, that's your cam belt off. Like I say, heated that up, bit of oil on that. I think it's just from when we've been stripping the engine, but that was a new cam belt and it's probably done 2 mile if that, but we're not going to risk putting that back on. New tensioner, we'll get another one of them as well. I don't think there's any difference, but I'm just going to label these up. So obviously that's exhaust and this is inlet. No one's going to be able to read, I can't even read my writing. So that one's loose. I don't think there's any difference between them, but come in. Now if you can see that on there, KA. They look, Woodruff keys there, they look identical. Same size, so yeah. So I think that drives oil pump and the distributor. I don't think it's got a balancer shaft in. Two cam shafts, you got your auxiliary gear and then you've got your auxiliary belts like alternator drives that. Got water pump now which will zip off. I did change this as well. It looks like it's like 10 years old, but it's only probably 2 years old if that. It's a bit tight to get in here. I think Jake's on the others, but he can't be asked to undo this one. It stinks this engine, doesn't it? No, I've burnt it. One water pump. So that has obviously been drilled and tapped, so that just, by the looks of it, Jack, that will bolt out. Like I say, I don't know if it's been like...
That doesn't look aftermarket though, does it?
No, but they don't do them. They don't come... I don't know if you can get the light in there. I think obviously that fitting will screw out of that. That's just screwed in. I'd love to find them old spark plugs. I'm sure they were original because I've put these spark plugs in. So yeah, got there in the end. Got obviously the rocker cover stripped off, got all the cam pulleys, cam belt. This engine now is more or less, there's a few little bits like dipstick, but it seems quite in there. I don't want to force that, but we're going to obviously give this a good clean. I ain't going to take the head off it because it ran and drove engine wise fine. Like I said, the only thing what we might do is the hydraulic lifters, but it had been stood for a while, so once it got warmed up and we ran it, it was okay and you couldn't start it again, it was fine. But worst case scenario, if that does give us a problem, it's only a case of taking the rocker cover off, cam out and everything, yeah. So we might do these lifters just for peace of mind. But you can see now, it's fully stripped, all the auxiliaries? Yeah. Parts of the engine basically. So it's all stripped off, so we can get to all this now, give this a good clean up, clean all this up, paint the block. We're not going to paint the cylinder head or anything like that, because obviously we've got these pulleys off. We can get to all this now, clean all this up, and all down here, clean all that up. But we're not gonna, I'm not going to start pulling the head off this and doing all bits like that, it works. If it don't, we can do that in the car. I know it's a bit arse backwards, but it worked before we took it apart, so we ain't gonna mess with that. This is all just taken off just to tidy everything up.